Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful West Coast Canada here in Victoria on Vancouver Island. Welcome Pama. Hi Sharada. Welcome our members. Hi Jaineel. I hope everybody is having as good a weekend as possible, staying healthy and staying strong. Everyone in this class, we're looking at speaking part 2, and we're going to be talking about a Band 9 response or responses for the questions on the cue card. We're going to work through an example together. Hi Rashika. Again, this lesson, everyone, is presented to you by aehelp.com. That's academic IELTShelp.com or academicenglishhelp.com and general IELTShelp.com or gieltshelp.com. And for general IELTS, definitely check us out there. So it's gieltshelp.com. On both of these websites, we have lots and lots of information for you, as well as HD videos, practice exams. We have interactive courses, and you can practice your speaking for free. Let me show you that. So this is our academic IELTS website here at aehelp.com. We're a British Council IELTS Registration Center, certified British Council agents. You click that big red button to join the premium package. You log in to your My Student account, and then here you will find a Student Partner Speaking button. And when you click on that Student Partner Speaking button, you'll be redirected to a new page. And then on this page, you will find other people in here who are looking for speaking partners. There's nobody in here right now, but there's usually several people in here all the time. It's the same for the general IELTS as well. It's the green background, and you click that big red button to join the premium package there. Okay, students, so again, this is a speaking part 2 class. We will get to that in just a second. However, I've got some exciting news for you, and if you have questions about this, let me know. Okay, so we have created Instagram profiles, IELTS_AE help for academic IELTS and GIELTS help for general IELTS, and we're really happy. A lot of people are following us on our Instagram. In fact, we have just reached 1,000 followers on IELTS_AE help. And to celebrate our 1,000 Instagram followers, we're giving away 2 premium courses. Okay, and we're going to pick at random who wins those courses. All you have to do is 1, follow both IELTS_AE help and GIELTS help on your Instagram. Number 2, like our Instagram post that announces the giveaway. So you're going to see a post that says we're giving away some free premium courses for IELTS. And then share the Instagram post that announces the giveaway on your story. Tag 3 of your friends in the comments of the Instagram post, and then you have a very good chance of getting a free premium IELTS package with 6 original practice exams, applications for your phone, over 100 hours of video lessons. All of that you have a chance to get when you go through these steps, and it'll help everybody else. Okay, so we're promoting that. That's celebrating our 1,000 followers on Instagram. So check us out on Instagram, IELTS_AE help and GIELTS help. Okay, everyone. If you have questions, something's not clear, send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. Ritu, I am Canadian. I'm currently in Victoria, beautiful British Columbia, West Coast, Canada. Okay, and last but not least for the announcements, importantly, right now we have speaking part 2. Our next class will be on May 5th. Of course, that's a big celebration in many Hispanic or Spanish parts of the world, Cinco de Mayo. On May 5th, our class time is changing. We are going to be doing these classes at Universal Time or GMAT time, 12:30 and 1400 hours. Okay, so 12:30, 1400 hours, Wednesday to Saturday. Okay, the reason we're changing our class time, we did a survey on our channel, and 74% of thousands of students said they want this time more. So we're changing our time. All right. Okay, so take note of that. So next week we'll have lots of classes for you as well from the 5th. This is according to the new schedule. So on the 5th, 1400 hours, Universal Standard Time. And then on the 6th, there'll be 2 classes. Members, yours is a little bit earlier. Okay, with love, back at you in Uzbekistan from Canada. Okay. So, cool. Let's get to part 2, speaking. I know that's why you're all here, and you're like, oh, he's telling me all this stuff. But it's good stuff. It's good. It's good information. I shouldn't use stuff. You shouldn't use the word stuff in your speaking. It's not a nice word. It's just a very basic word. All right, so here we go. Part 2, the cue card. Many people fear the cue card, but fear not. If you know what you're doing, you will be fine. Okay. This is speaking, so make sure to speak and repeat. Okay. Speak, repeat. Very important. Practice your intonation, your pronunciation. Copy my sentences, my words. Okay. So you're sitting in the IELTS speaking interview. And hopefully by this time you're quite nice and calm, okay? So take a deep breath. And then, of course, you just finished part 1 of your speaking interview where you met the examiner. The examiner asked you 5, 6 questions on some general topic like sports or music. And then the examiner will look at you and say, okay, that's the end of part 1. Now we will continue with part 2. For part 2, I will show you a card. Please do not touch the card. It has some questions. You will have 1 minute to read the questions. There's some note paper beside you. You have a pen. You can take notes in that 1 minute if you wish. And then you will have 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start and when to stop. And then they'll read the topic. So the examiner will show you the card, and the card is usually like in a book or a booklet that they have. You cannot change the card. You cannot ask for the card to be changed. It is the card that they show you. Okay. So talk about an object with many uses. Okay. Talk about an object with many uses. And then when you see that card, and then when the examiner reads it, talk about an object with many uses, they'll say your 1 minute preparation time begins now. Okay. And then you look at these questions. Be happy. In our chat is saying, I scored 8 because of you. Thanks a lot, Mr. Adrian. Be happy. I'm sure you're happy. And that's great. I'm glad that we were able to help you and that you scored really well. Fantastic. Good for you. Okay. Okay. So here we go. Look at the card. Read each question, pay very close attention, and read the topic question again. Even though the examiner reads it or says it, you should read it again just to make 100% sure that you understand it correctly, okay? All right, here we go. So talk about an object with many uses. What the object is, where can a person get it, what can it be used for, and how does it help the user? Okay, good. So we've got some interesting questions here. Now, step number 1 is identifying the topic. So here the topic is an object with many uses. Okay, good. Now, immediately, you have to realize that you are talking about an object. Okay, and when you talk about an object, so this is very, very important, everyone. In the IELTS for Part 2 cue card, it's going to be an object, a person, a place, an event, or an idea. Okay, 99% of the time it will be one of those 5 categories. In this case, we're talking about an object. And Charmin, you should definitely not talk about your mobile phone. And I'll explain why, okay, in a couple of moments, all right? So here we go. It's an object. First of all, we recognize it's an object. When we talk about an object to another person, especially maybe an object they're not familiar with, you have to include a few key pieces of information in a logical order or in a logical sequence. So when you're talking about an object, what should you talk about? So what do you need to tell the person? Okay. And some of our members might know this. So what do you need to include when you're talking about an object? Okay. So Rashika says you should include its appearance. What does it actually look like? Yeah, of course. I'm the listener. I want to picture it, right? Its origin. Where does it come from? Its function. How do you use it? And its importance. Why is it useful? Now, we kind of realize that, hey, that's in the questions, right? So when you talk logically about an object, you're usually answering most of the questions. And Little Mermaid says the same. Appearance, origin, function, and value in that order. Okay, so very good. Okay, appearance, origin, function, and value. Yeah, in this order. As long as you mention a few points on each of these ideas, you're likely going to do very well. Okay, plus look at the card. Okay. Now, of course, we want to think about the tense, the verb tense. And here, the question is a very general question. It's asking you to talk about an object with many uses. So mostly you're using the present general tense. Okay? Kuldeep, I like that idea, the wooden table. Okay? All right, verb tense is general present tense, maybe some present perfect, maybe some continuous forms or progressive forms. Okay, those are some good ideas. All right. So now, what's my next step? So after this, okay, so I figured out my topic. I realize it's an object. I know I have to talk about its appearance, its origin, its function, its importance. So I think about all of this. It's happening very quickly. I only have 1 minute, right? So I practice this at home so I can do this very, very quickly. And so what do I do next? So Little Mermaid says, think about some ideas. Okay, so important step. Do not just talk about the first idea that comes to mind. Because it is often not the best idea. And this will have a major impact on your speaking score. Okay. All right, an example of that would be like mobile phone. Okay, would not be a great response to this. Okay. So I think a lot of students for this question, if I were the examiner, I'm sure this would happen. A lot of students would be like, oh, my mobile phone. It's an object that has many uses. I can use it to search online. I can use it to talk to my friends. I can use it to, and then they would just start listing and wouldn't end up with the best score. I'll explain to you why. Okay. All right. So Rashika says, think of 2 or 3 possible ideas and choose something that's original. Choose something that's unique. Yeah, so what you want to do when you pick your topic, okay, when you pick your answer, choose an idea, or in this case, an object, which is original, easy to talk about, and has lots of content. Okay? And I'll explain this just real quick. So Think about this examiner. They're sitting there all day. This is their job. They're there for like 8 hours, maybe even more sometimes. And, every second candidate is talking about a mobile phone for this question, okay? Gets boring. They start to compare students to each other, even though they shouldn't. It's human. It's very difficult not to when everybody's talking about a mobile phone, okay? You're in competition with basically everybody else. And you don't sound original, so it's not going to sound like you're really using so many new words or it doesn't shine, all right? So you want to be original, okay? All right, so we've got some ideas coming. I like the wooden table. I thought that was great. Okay. Sadesh says, why not a piece of paper? Okay, let's make it a little bit more descriptive. An A4 paper. A4 paper immediately lets us know what it looks like, right? Okay, Colwinder says Alexa. Well, I don't know. Sean, very nice. Sean says, why not a Swiss Army knife? I love it. That's a great idea. Okay, Honey says, why not a watch? Let's make that, Honey, a little bit more specific. An analog wristwatch. Okay. So I would go with an analog wristwatch. When you have an idea, when you have a good idea like a watch, take it one step further. Think about, okay, well, should it be digital or analog? I would go with an analog myself for this answer, okay, where it has arms. Personally, that might work better. Don't go with a smartwatch because then you're basically talking about a mobile phone, okay? All right. Harpreet says, why not a bookshelf? Yeah, bookshelf, sure. Could be a good one as well. Okay, Janelle says a smart fitness band. You mean like a Fitbit, right? Yeah, that might be a little bit awkward, a little bit difficult to talk about. Okay. Sadesh says, I like how you're being qualitative with objects. We want to be qualitative and quantitative. I probably would not go with a laptop. Again, it might be a really popular answer. It's not going to be really original. And it's tricky to talk about it in a focused way. Okay. Viral says a treadmill walking machine. I would say a Mukta says vehicle, like a car. Again, might not be that original and a little bit tricky to talk about. Pama says a dumbbell. That could be interesting. A dumbbell used for lifting weights or for some other purposes, I suppose. Yep. Okay. All right. Rajveer says maybe a bike as well. Okay, that could be good. Let's go with a mountain bike. All right, so let's do this. So I think we have some great suggestions here. Again, in your real IELTS exam, you don't need 5 or 6 like we have here. You only really need 3. And then when you have those 3, think about it. Which one's original? Okay, that not every candidate is talking about. Which one can I talk a lot about? And which one's going to be easy for me to talk about? Okay, all right, so let's take a vote here, everyone. Wooden table, 1. A4 paper, 2. Swiss Army knife, 3. Analog wristwatch, 4. Bookshelf, 5. And a mountain bike, 6. Okay, so here's your chance to vote. Please only vote once. Think carefully. Which one can you talk about? Which one's easy to talk about and original? Okay, and then I'll kind of look at what are the most popular votes and we'll go from that. Okay. All right. So we're getting a lot of 4s for the wristwatch. Yeah. Kevin really likes the mountain bike. I like that as well. Rajveer likes it. Yeah. Okay. It looks like most of the votes are going for that analog wristwatch. All right. Sure. Let's go with that then. I think it's a good choice. And we can definitely talk a lot about it. Okay. And it certainly has multiple uses, so it's a good one for the question. I don't think everybody's going to pick that. All right. So analog wristwatch it is. All right. So now it's time for notes. So we're still within our 1 minute here. Okay. This is all happening quickly without my 20 minutes of explanation. It's happening very fast in your head. Okay. So you've picked analog wristwatch to talk about. Great. So first, you want to describe its appearance. Okay, what does it actually look like? Now, of course, don't write appearance and take simple notes here. And don't write down notes that you would remember anyways. Okay. I would agree, Charmin, that an analog wristwatch could have a lot of content as well. Okay. So what does it look like? Give me some information. Let's see how well we can talk about it. And this is why you practice it at home, so you know how you can talk about it. Okay. Leather belt. It's actually called a strap. Watch strap. Yeah, that's right. Leather strap. Okay. It's not a band. It's not a belt. It's a leather strap or band. I would probably also add gold, silver. Okay. To that. Don't talk about its function yet, Pamela, like waterproof. Okay. Circular, rectangular. Yep. Don't forget your quantitative language, like 4 cm diameter or 10 centimeter diameter. It could be a lot bigger as well. Harinder says it could be titanium. That's a nice use of vocabulary as well. Titanium, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so LePayan says it weighs around 200 grams. That's going to be a pretty heavy wristwatch. Let's say 100 grams. It doesn't have to be accurate, but sure. So weight is a good descriptor as well. Lots of colors. Yep. Glass or crystal face. Okay, good. It might have a compass, Rajveer, but who knows? Maybe it does. I wouldn't go. So again, Rajveer, we don't need to make this like the Swiss Army knife watch that's got a compass and a barometer and lots of other functions as well. We can keep it really simple. Bendito, not an Apple Watch, simply an analog watch. Okay. And then you have your minute and hour hand. Okay, the hands, all right, that actually show the time. Sure. Okay. All right, good. Where do we get it? So let's talk about origin. Where does it come from? Where do we get it? Again, you only have 1 minute, so you can't write down too many ideas, okay? And again, don't go into too much technology. Keep it simple. You'll be surprised how much you can talk about a watch, an analog watch, in an intelligent way, okay? Sean says diamond encrusted. Sure. Okay, so Rajveer says from online Amazon. Rashika says Japan. All right. Let's throw Switzerland in there. Let's get real fancy. Let's throw a Rolex in there. Okay, Muktha says from Koti Hiberdad. Yeah, all right, sure. Okay, so lots of places to get a watch, local stores as well. Malls, okay, sure. Okay, and now let's get into the fun part. What's the function? Okay, so what's the function of the watch? Now, please don't say time. Keeping time, obviously, you're going to remember that. You don't have to write a note to say keeping time. That's the clear and arguably the primary function. Okay. So what else can a watch do? What kind of function can a watch serve other than telling the time? Okay. And Shekton, it's not where you purchased it, it's just where you can get it. Okay. So let's see. What else can a watch do other than tell time? Okay. Little Mermaid says it's a fashion accessory. Yeah. It's a fashion or a status statement, right? Somebody's wearing a Rolex. That's going to tell a lot about their financial position in society right away. Okay. Yeah, so Rahul says it helps people to be a reminder, to be punctual. Okay, so yeah, punctual, to be on time for appointments. That's very good. Okay. So Harinder says it can be a reflection of my personality. There we go. I can't read the Cyrillic, but it's a brilliant idea for sports, for for swimming, cardio exercise. That's what you want to write down. Yeah. Okay. So you can time your push-ups, you can time your run. Yeah, so you can use it as a stopwatch for sure, Pam. I can look at my analog watch and start running and then see how much time passed after, or 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers of running. Absolutely. Okay. So I can use it for that. What else can I use it for? I don't know if anybody said that so far. Okay, so for health, measuring heartbeat, yeah. Pulse in an emergency, absolutely. It's used for that as well. Yeah, so time is very valuable, right? Breathing. What else? In fact, if you know a little bit about the sun and the time, you can use it as a compass, right? So to get your bearings, you can use it as a compass. Okay, so what's its value? So why is it important for people? What's the value of a watch? So obviously, it's a part of personal appearance, social status, right? We've kind of already have that. It can be valuable for as a gift, so sentimental value. Okay, so obviously a watch has lots of value. Fantastic. Okay, so there we go. That's great. We've got lots of information. Now, students, in the 1 minute, so in the perfect world, when you get this card, okay, talk about an object with many uses. You should say what the object is, where can a person get it, what can it be used for, how does it help the user. And then you go, okay, it's an object. Talk about appearance, origin, function, value. I got to talk in the present tense. Let me think of a couple ideas. Swiss Army knife, a watch, a table. Okay, watch, analog watch. I like the analog watch. All right, here are my notes. You are on track for a very high band score. You are about to produce a beautiful response to this question with original ideas, with great lexical resource. You have these notes. Fantastic. Okay, so this is what you want to do. And of course, you want to practice this at home so that you can do it just like this, nice and quick. And not just for objects, but for people, for places, for ideas and events as well. Again, for all of that information, visit our website. Check out our premium courses, ahelp.com, glshelp.com. So here now, before your 1 minute is up, okay, it's very important. So before your 1 minute prep time is up, think about your first sentence. Okay? It's very, very important. So many students, or too many students, waste the first 15, 20 seconds of the response time on either no communication or useless communication. Okay? So I'll explain to you what I mean by that. So many times when I'm training students and clients for the IELTS exam, and so many times when I'm examining students, you get this kind of, like, I go, minute preparation time is up, please begin speaking, and then the student goes, okay. Well, so an object with many, and it's like, tick tock, that's valuable seconds, okay? You can't let those slide like that. When I say your 1 minute preparation time is up, please begin speaking, you have to immediately start speaking. An object that has a lot of various uses is an analog wristwatch. Boom, you're into it, you're going, okay? That's what you want to do. The other common situation that I see from many students is useless information, where I say, okay, your 1 minute preparation time is up, please begin speaking. And then they go, well, thank you for the opportunity for letting me speak about some useful object or an object that has many uses. In fact, there are a lot of objects that have many uses, but the one that I'd really like to talk about with today, and it's like, wow, you've said a lot, but you really haven't said anything yet, okay? So that's not good either, all right? The best approach is a clear, direct response to the topic question. Here, the topic question is talk about an object with many uses. And hey, here, if you really want, you can use the word plethora, okay? I'm not a big fan. People are overusing it because of a video on YouTube, but you can use it, and you could say, for example, so an item which has a plethora of different functions is the analog wristwatch. Okay, and it's good to think about this kind of a sentence before the examiner says, okay, your 1 minute preparation time is up. And I can see lots of these coming up now in the chat, which is fantastic to see. Okay, so Rahul, there's no limit to words or sentences in the 2 minute speech. It really depends on your fluency. Rajveer says, an object which has numerous utilities for the general public is an analog watch. Okay, I would go with wristwatch because, yeah, I mean, it's not a clock, but I would add the word wrist in there, Rajveer, just to be very, very specific and clear. Janil says, an object that has numerous uses in everyday life is an analog wristwatch. Little Mermaid says, a versatile object that I've bought from Switzerland back in the summer of 2018 is my beautiful gold analog wristwatch. Okay, that's fine. You can talk about it personally in this case, Little Mermaid, if you want, but the question's really asking more in a general sense to talk about. A lot of times, Little Mermaid, part 2 cue cards, they are asking you personal questions, like talk about an object that you have which has a lot of uses, but sometimes it's more general than that, okay? Rashika says, back in 2017 on my birthday, my brother gifted me with an object that is multi-purpose. It is an analog wristwatch. Yeah, multi-purpose. Multi-purpose tool, right? Rashika, lots of words for that. Very good. Okay. Kevin Bowie says, the one item which is often hailed as super versatile is an analog wristwatch from DW brand. All right, so you're getting really specific, Kevin, and that's fine. That'll work for you. Just make sure you don't pigeonhole yourself. You don't get yourself into a difficult situation. Okay. All right. Okay, so good. Let's continue from here. So an item which has a plethora of different functions is the analog wristwatch. All right, so now let's describe it. So give me a few sentences which describe what a wristwatch looks like. Again, think about your examiner as if they're an alien from another planet. You're introducing them to the wristwatch, and they're like, ooh, oh, it's a wristwatch. Give lots of details, join your ideas together, okay? Shekon, don't talk about many objects that have multiple purposes, talk about one, okay? Right away, that's what I meant about useless information, okay? Get right into it. All right? I still can't read the Cyrillic, but I'm glad that you like my way of teaching. Munri says, the wristwatch is a multi-purpose object and most of the people use it on a daily basis for a variety of purposes. Manvi, it's a good start. Finish the idea. Okay. All right. Kevin says, visually, it is beautiful. It's an ingenious piece of craftsmanship with a circular crystal dial, golden minute and hour hands, and brown leather strap. It also comes with a compact case made of velvet, or made with velvet, which really adds to its luxury look. Very good, Kevin. Nice description. That's what you want to do, okay? Harshimran, before you get into the use of the watch, describe its appearance a little bit for your audience, okay? So give the audience the setting, just like in a movie or a book. You give the setting before you start talking about the story, okay? Then the story is a lot more interesting and it's a lot more comprehensible, right? Sean says it has a brown leather strap with a circular crystal clear clock in between. The Little Mermaid says it's about $1,000. It's 4 centimeters in diameter, circular shape usually, beautifully decorated with some diamonds for those who are spending the extra dollar. Okay. All right. So, a wristwatch has 2 main pieces. The strap, which holds it on the user's wrist, and the face that contains all of the inner workings which tell the time. These components can be made of leather or even precious metals like gold and silver. Depending on budget and purpose of use. The face of the watch has the hours indicated from 1 to 12 with second, minute, and hour hands showing the exact time of day. All right. A watch, a wrist watch can cost anywhere from a few dollars to tens of thousands of dollars. Okay, all right. So there are lots of ways to do this. I'm just kind of moving along here. As you can see, I'm putting it together in my head. This is really what you want to do as well. Now, of course, if I get stuck or if I feel like I'm missing something, I would just go back and look at some of the information that I've noted. When you have those notes there in front of you in the actual interview, make sure to use them. That's why you wrote them down, right? So you can see that I didn't mention the diameter, I didn't mention the weight. That could be useful, okay? So I might write something, or I might say something. I'll say something when I look at this. So I'll say something like, the average wristwatch is circular and has a diameter of around 4 centimeters and weighs about 50 grams. I think even 100 is a little bit heavy. Okay, now that kind of quantitative language and using words like diameter are certainly going to get you some points. They're going to boost your lexical resource. Okay? You want to join these ideas together. Okay. Shaikh Abdul Rahman, don't say the object which I'm about to talk about as a wristwatch. Just start talking about it, right? Okay. Manvi says mostly it is made of gold, silver, platinum, tin, steel. Sometimes it has diamonds and other attractive gems to make it precious. Moreover, the strap is made of leather. Okay. All right, good. Manvi, that's good. A couple of corrections there. Han Han says, I am fun to collect different kinds of laptops of range series. Last year, I think you're way off topic there, Hun Hun. Okay. We have a question. Should I respond to the questions as they appear on the card in the same order, or can we begin from 2, then 3, etc.? Yeah, you can. You do not have to answer the questions on the card in sequence. In fact, sometimes that doesn't make sense. So you should answer naturally, but definitely answer all the questions on the card. And no, you do not need to answer them in sequence. In fact, when you talk about an object, it makes sense to talk about its appearance first, then its origin, then its function, then its value. Okay, so let's keep going with this. Okay. Karen Deep, you can mention brand names, but what's most important is that you're being descriptive. Okay. All right. So here, now I'm going to talk about origin. So most people in the world at some point purchase a wristwatch either from online or in a retail store. They are widely sold and most often produced in China, Japan, Taiwan, or Switzerland. Okay. Among the most famous brands and shops is Rolex. Okay. All right. If we want to mention a brand, we can do it that way. All right. So again, you do not need to answer the questions on the card in sequence. The examiner doesn't care about that, but they do care that you answer all the questions on the card. Okay, they're very aware of that. All right. So here, their origin, don't go into too much detail because, of course, here the question is talk about an object that has many uses. So you want to focus mostly on the many uses of the watch. So now we want to get into that, okay? So let's get into the many uses of the watch. Of course, telling the time is going to be the primary. That's going to be very quick, okay? Harshim Run, daily live classes are 4 days a week from Wednesday to Saturday, okay? Wednesday to Saturday. All right, so let's get into the uses of the watch. Of course, telling time. So aside from telling the exact time and helping people to be punctual for their meetings and appointments, such as business, school, or the dentist office. A wristwatch has a multitude of other utilities or uses. All right? Okay. Let's see what you come up with. So Kevin says, functionality-wise, this object can perform so much more than what a standard wristwatch simply offers. Apart from its use to keep time, this watch is also a fashion item, so users' appearance is enhanced when wearing it. Also, because the watch is waterproof, it can be used underwater by athletes to time their laps. Very good. Or the length of time they hold their breath. Very nice. Okay. Little Mermaid says, this multi-purpose item not only helps people to keep time, it can also serve as a compass for those who are familiar with the sun and get lost, and a beautiful accessory for formal attire. Magnificent speaking, Little Mermaid. You put that together in a nice, well-spoken sentence for the examiner, and you're going to be flying towards a band 9, okay? Kuldeep says, this watch helps me to manage time for preparing for my exams. As well, I can easily appoint hours for covering my syllabus and follow my schedule by paying attention to the time indicated on my wristwatch. Good, Kuldeep. I gave you some more information there. Karandeep says, convert your daily activities and routines with others into English rather than speaking in your own native language, Charmin. All right, so giving some advice to some other students. All right, Rajveer says, apart from its basic utility to tell the exact time of day, to facilitate people to show up in meetings on time, it is a status symbol in society, and it is used also to time cardiovascular exercises. Beautiful. Yeah, so there we go. So a wristwatch, a nice watch, especially one made of gold, such as an expensive Rolex, is a status of power in society. In fact, it is even an investment, as Rolex watches often increase in value over time. Furthermore, a watch can be used by sportsmen to time and improve their performance, since it is portable. Okay? Yeah, lots and lots of great information there. Okay? Anjali is asking, can we use the word irrespective instead of aside? Irrespective of, you can. It's a little bit less accurate in this context because telling the time is so respectable. So you have to remember the root word as well, the respect. So I probably wouldn't in this context, Anjali, but in many contexts you can use irrespective of instead of aside from. Okay? All right. Okay, so we're talking about its uses now. If I forget something, again, don't panic. This is why I have my notes. So I look at it. I've gotten fashion, punctual, cardio. Okay, health and pulse compass. All right. So those are emergency situations, right? In some emergency situations, such as when a person is lost, a wristwatch can be used as a compass in combination with the sun. It can also be used to assess health, such as pulse and heartbeat, as well as breathing. Right, so lots of great uses there for that wonderful wristwatch, okay? As long as we know what we're doing with it. So now we want to talk about the value, so its importance, okay? So clearly, the wristwatch is a multi-purpose item that is of great significance for the user, both as a tool in society as well as for individual health. For these reasons, it is very popular as a gift and often holds much sentimental value, like the watch my father gifted me for graduating university. Okay. There we go. Okay, so at this point, you're probably out of your 2 minutes, and the examiner is going to say, okay, stop there. You've done a fantastic job, okay? All right, everyone, so let's go through this from the top, and now you can see how a Band 9 response is conceptualized, planned, and then put together. And having a response like this is really going to help you in Part 3 as well. So let's go from the top. Nia Nguyen, time it. You're thinking it's too long for 2 minutes? I don't think so. We can say a lot in 2 minutes when it's done precisely. This is just it, students. When you have good ideas, you can say a lot of great information in the 2 minutes. If you don't, then often students don't say much. They just say kind of like 2 sentences and keep repeating the same idea. Okay? All right, here we go from the top. An item which has a plethora of different functions is the analog wristwatch. A wristwatch has 2 main pieces, the strap, which holds it on the user's wrist, and the face that contains all of the inner workings which tell the time. These components can be made of leather or even precious metals like gold and silver, depending on budget and purpose of use. The face of the watch has the hours indicated from 1 to 12 with second, minute, and hour hands, showing the exact time of day. A wristwatch can cost anywhere from a few dollars to tens of thousands of dollars. The average wristwatch is circular and has a diameter of around 4 centimeters and weighs about 50 grams. Most people in the world at some point purchase a wristwatch either online or in a retail store. They are widely sold and often produced in China, Japan, Taiwan, maybe Switzerland. Among the most famous brands and shops is Rolex. Aside from telling the exact time and helping people to be punctual for their meetings and appointments, such as business, school, or the dentist office, a wristwatch has a multitude of other uses. A nice watch, especially one made of gold, such as an expensive Rolex, is a status of power in society. In fact, it is even an investment, as Rolex watches often increase in value over time. Furthermore, a watch can be used by sportsmen to time and improve their performance since it's portable. In some emergency situations, such as when a person is lost, a wristwatch can be used as a compass in combination with the sun. It can also be used to assess health, such as pulse and heartbeat, as well as breathing. Clearly, the wristwatch is a multi-purpose item that is of great significance for the user, both as a tool in society as well as for individual health. For these reasons, it's very popular as a gift and often holds a lot of sentimental value, like the watch my father got me for graduation. Roughly 2 minutes, right? Roughly 2 minutes. They'll let you finish that up, okay? All right, and so, yeah, time is over. I've stopped. Okay, so roughly 2 minutes. When you're fluent, by the way, students, and you're not repeating yourself, they will let you finish what you're saying, okay? They will let you finish what you're saying. They will stop you before the 2 minutes if you're just repeating yourself and you seem lost. Okay, so in the IELTS exam for part 2, it actually says that you can speak from 1 to 2 minutes. If you're giving new and clear information like this, they will let you go to the 2 minutes. They might even let you slip a few seconds over to finish your ideas, to finish your story. If you're repeating yourself and you're lost, they'll stop you at 1 minute. Okay, keep that in mind. That's a very important tip. Okay, everyone, so that's it for today. Fantastic contribution from a lot of different people today. And again, remember our Instagram premium package giveaway. So go through these 4 steps for us in Instagram. That will help other students who are learning for IELTS as well. It's absolutely free. And then we will be choosing our winners in a few days' time. And you can get access to our premium packages, which is, it's a nice, it's a bit of value there for sure. 6 full free computer-based or paper-based exams as well, apps and everything like that. And for those of you who just simply want to say, hey, I just want to get your premium package, go to aehelp.com for academic or glshelp.com for general. The website looks like this for general, and for academic, it's the blue background like this. So that's where you are searching. You can click that big red button or that one to join us. Okay, everyone, remember next week, Wednesday is the next class, and it will be at 1400 hours, so 14 o'clock universal time, universal standard time, okay? So check your wristwatch and set your alarm clock for that time. Wednesday, again, 1400 hours GMAT time, okay? That's when I will be back. Until then, I hope you all have an amazing rest of your weekend, and stay safe, of course. Stay strong. Get lots of vitamin D in you. Vitamin C, those are good. And much love to all of you, wherever you are. I'm Adrian, signing out. Bye for now.